Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tempest, and today we are doing the Final Fantasy X custom starter deck. Now, I'm really happy to show this to you guys. We finally got this in the States. There was a big delay in NA, but it's here now, and I can finally bring you my review and the contents of it for your viewing pleasure. Here's what it looks like right out of the box. Here we have updated instruction manual and as well as a way to enjoy the custom starter deck, how to build each version or give you some ideas on how to deck build. Really good for new players. On the topic of new players, I think this is going to be great to bring in a lot of FF10 fans. I think FF10 is probably the next best fan favorite right after FF7, so this should really help grow our numbers in the community. Remember, you can open this little tab here so you don't manhandle your cards. It should be quick and easy and painless to pull out and get everything out. But yeah, this card the starter comes with 100 cards. This pre-made deck here is Wind and Water with the Light Tituses, and you have extra Fire, Water, and Wind cards in the other one with the Sins. This is good for new players to pick up as well as to learn with a buddy. You can essentially build two decks out of this and, you know, kind of get to know the ropes and understand the game a little bit more so you guys can start getting into the competitive. Outside of this, you won't need too many cards to update this and not too many expensive cards either. So I highly recommend any new player watching this or who's interested in playing the game to pick this up if you have, or at least ask your local game shop to order it. But yeah, so now we can get started with the rest of the cards. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into some of these new cards. This new Light Titus. Now I know it only shows two here, but you do get the third one. It is technically in the other side in the custom aspect, right? So if in case you want to add more, here's a better look at the card. For newer players, it's got a lot of things to do. It's a searcher as well as a buff when he attacks. Yuna, also a very good card, lets you bring back something from the break zone, and at damage 3, your guardians get plus 2k. Lulu's another really good one, a lot of recursion, lets you get Yuna or a summon back, and when you cast a summon, she's able to reduce a force power to 5,000. Here's some of the older cards that were reprinted, I guess, with this. We have Pains, Thieves, Selkie, Brother, which I find really good, is from Opus 1. It's from the original FF10 starter deck, actually, and a couple other interesting cards here for Wind. But now we have Orin. We go into some of the water cards that this deck provides. Summons and abilities your opponent must choose Orin if possible. If you control a drop summoner, forward, or guardian forward other than Orin, when Orin is put from the field in the break zone, draw a card, and at 3 damage you gain 3,000. So he's going to give everyone protection, and he has value if you have the summoners or guardians. Riku, when enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls, return its owner's in hand. If you control a job summoner, forward, put it on top of its owner's deck and draw a card instead. So really, really good control, and it's EX burst. Waka. You can remove three real counters from Waka to use Waka's special ability. When Waka or an FF10 enters the field, gain a real counter. And Kimari, Lena, Scholar, White Mage, Kuchulain, which used to be one of my favorites. And that's kind of just the main deck, right? Waka also has an S that for, to use the real counters, you can choose a forward, and, it loses all its abilities and break it. Here's the Jet as well. He has an EX burst to deal damage, as well as to search a light or dark character and add it to your hand. You can send him to the break zone. Braska, you will use his special ability by discarding summons, and he's got a summon special to deal 7k, and then choose 2 forwards, control break them, and deal your opponent a point of damage. A lot of really great effects. You see his effects require multiple colors, so that's why this deck is built the way it is. New black mages, which are cool. A couple of weird cards like Warrior and this other black mage, but here's the new Bahamut. Here's what it looks like a little bit better for you guys so you can read it, but pretty much it's all good synergy when you have 10 cards. You can reduce the cost by removing 10 characters from the break zone and deal 10k to something. A few more Ifrits, more Pains to kind of help you search the Yunas and stuff. These are the Opus ones, and then Riku's, Alexander's, and this Yuna. I'm glad we got legendaries in this box this time around. We didn't get any in the Avalanche, and it's cool that this one got a nice full art. It kind of wouldn't mind it foil, but we got Famfrits, Tituses, more Jets, which are very good and kind of helps you cancel stuff. Orin, just another forward to buff. There's different ways to play the Guardian engine, right? And this is the Sins, the extra Titus I was talking about, as well as the Sins. This is a very interesting card actually for seasoned players. This is one of a very unique effect. When Sin is added to your hand from the deck due to the search effect, you may pay 3. When you do so, choose a forward, break it. I think that alone is just pretty interesting. But when Sin enters the field, break all forwards. If you have received 6 points of damage, all your opponent's forwards only. But anyway, yeah, guys, like I was saying earlier, this it's got 100 cards in total, right? You have your fire, you have the water stuff, and you have more wind stuff here, as well as the light and darks. You can build 2 versions of this deck, fire, wind, water. Fire, water, and water, fire, or kind of however you see fit. And some of them have the Sins, or you can kind of make a tri-colored version, which is kind of what you could what's playable now, I think. I am actually very happy I was able to play against this before I finished recording this video, because now I have a little more insight as to how well this deck actually does. From a competitive standpoint, I think it is very strong currently, right? The new set is just a few weeks out, and we don't actually know enough about it, I think, to assume what the meta is going to be like. Because I believe for the last set, it was pretty clear what was going to happen, in my opinion. So yeah, as I separate everything, you have plenty of options here to build, right? But yeah, so this deck is going to be very relevant for the next few weeks, at least until the meta gets established. Especially when it comes with some of the older cards like the Kimari and different versions of Pain and Lulu and Auron. Mix and match however you see fit, right? There are a few. I think there's isn't many cards outside of this that you'll need to make it competitive, but there's very, very, very many possibilities with this. As you can see there, I'm putting just giving you options. But yeah, there is a few more 10 cards coming out, I think, in the next set that may or may not improve this a little bit. But I think I'm really happy with the fact that we got foil full arts, right? Which is something we didn't get in the last one. It came with a new L, which also we didn't get in the last one. Like a new version of an L, right? Like that, we have that Yuna, the songstress one from 10-2. And, new light or dark cards. Now, I've talked about for beginners and seasoned players, but as a collector, is this worth it? I'm going to say not so much. If you're a player, I highly recommend you get this, but as a collector, I think your best bet is going to be wait for the next set, which is where the full arts are going to come in for the new art cards like the Waka, Riku, Braska, and I think that's it, right? Waka, Riku, Braska, yeah, those are the ones. All 3 new full art cards from the original art is going to come out for the game. Here's one final look at all the new cards that are playable. All very strong, all very relevant, I think. How many of these will go into other decks? I think the Auron and Lulu will find space somewhere else. The Jet will find another home, I think, too, because he can search a light or dark card. And in a weird way, I think the Sin one might make his way as well into other decks going down the road, right? We have multiple Sins now, so something like the old S ability isn't too out of the world, out of the realm of possibilities. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see what comes out with this one. So happy deck building, everybody.